Welcome back to my channel. This is the last part of Taekook fan fiction story, where his sensual therapist helped him break through his restrained body. It is a pure imaginations of mine. Don't take it very seriously. Let's begin. The clinic encounter had changed everything. What was meant to be a professional consultation had ignited something neither Taehyung nor Jungkook could put back into a neat little box. The days that followed blurred into a haze of texts, phone calls, and secret smiles. Taehyung felt light for the first time in years, no longer chained by embarrassment, no longer hiding from his own body. Jungkook, with his sharp jaw and steady voice, had unlocked something more than just pleasure. He had unlocked freedom. Their first official date was simple. A small restaurant tucked into the quieter side of the city. They laughed over shared plates, Jungkook quietly watching Taehyung's animated hands move as he described his favorite songs. When Taehyung laughed, head tilted back, eyes half-mooned, Jungkook felt the pull in his chest tighten. And it didn't stop there. They went to galleries, late-night walks, bookstores where Taehyung would disappear into aisles and Jungkook would find him sitting on the floor, flipping through pages with childlike wonder. Each outing ended the same way. Jungkook driving Taehyung home, both of them hovering in the parking lot, lingering as though neither wanted to break the spell. Soon enough, it was Taehyung who started spending nights at Jungkook's apartment. That first sleepover, they barely made it to the bed. The moment the door clicked shut, Jungkook pinned Taehyung against it, lips crushing against his with a hunger he had no intention of taming. Clothes fell piece by piece, like the two of them were shedding layers of fear and restraint along with fabric. God! Tae, Jungkook rasped against his lips, voice raw. You make me lose myself. Taehyung's reply was a breathless moan as his fingers clawed at Jungkook's shirt, tugging him closer, needing more. Jungkook lifted him effortlessly, carrying him to the bedroom, where their bodies tangled in heat and desperate rhythm. It was rough, almost feral, every movement sending shivers through Taehyung. Every sound he made pulling Jungkook deeper into the abyss of desire. They devoured each other, no pause, no hesitation. It was need, harsh and consuming, but lined with the soft brush of lips over sweat-damp skin, the whispered endearments between gasps, the way Jungkook cradled Taehyung's head even while their bodies collided. They didn't sleep until the early hours. Both spent, limbs heavy, but hearts still racing as they lay tangled together. And yet, when dawn cracked the sky, Jungkook lay awake, staring at the ceiling. For the first time in his career, he had crossed a line he swore he never would. He had built his reputation on being professional, ethical, the therapist who respected boundaries. And then Taehyung walked into his office and shattered all of that. That guilt began to gnaw at him in the quiet moments. One evening, when Taehyung leaned sleepily against him on the couch, Jungkook finally broke the silence. Tae. His voice was low, troubled. I need to tell you something. Taehyung stirred, blinking up at him with soft brown eyes. What is it? Jungkook inhaled sharply. Sometimes, I wonder if I crossed a line with you, if maybe I took advantage of you. You came to me vulnerable, searching for help, and instead of being the professional I should have been, I gave in to what I wanted. I've never, ever done this with another patient. Not once. But with you, it was different. And I can't stop asking myself if I failed you by not keeping my distance. Taehyung sat up a little, frowning. Failed me? Jungkook, how can you even say that? Because I should have been stronger, Jungkook said, his voice tight. You needed guidance, healing. Not a man who couldn't keep his hands off you. And the way I've been with you, rough, intense, I worry I'm hurting you in ways you're not telling me. I worry I've been selfish. For a moment, silence hung between them. Then Taehyung reached for Jungkook's hand, threading their fingers together firmly. You think you took advantage of me? Taehyung's tone was soft, but unwavering. Jungkook, I wanted you. I wanted all of this. Do you know how long I've been starved for intimacy? How many nights I stayed up, aching, wishing I could be touched without fear or shame. And then you walked into my life. You didn't just help me with my problem. You gave me back a part of myself I thought I'd lost forever. His thumb brushed across Jungkook's knuckles. You say you were rough, but every second I felt safe. Because it was you. And because even when you're losing yourself, I can feel how much you care. Jungkook, I've never been more alive than I am with you. Please don't twist that into guilt. Jungkook's throat tightened, his chest aching at the sincerity in Taehyung's eyes. His voice broke. You don't know what that means to me. Then stop doubting it, Taehyung whispered, leaning closer, pressing his lips to Jungkook's. Stop doubting us. And just like that, the weight lifted. Jungkook's guilt didn't vanish completely, but it transformed into a vow. A vow to love Taehyung with all the intensity he had, but also with all the care, all the gentleness he could muster. Because Taehyung wasn't just a patient anymore. He was becoming everything. The night was quiet, filled only with the faint hum of the city beyond the tall windows of Jungkook's apartment. Candlelight flickered across the table where remnants of dinner remained. Half-drunk wine glasses, 2 plates barely touched. Because the two of them had been too distracted gazing at each other. Taehyung leaned back in his chair, cheeks warm, lips swollen from earlier kisses Jungkook had stolen before dessert. He thought it was just another night together, another chance to lose himself in Jungkook's arms. But when Jungkook stood up, sliding his hand into his pocket, Taehyung's breath caught. Taehyung. Jungkook's voice carried that firm yet gentle timbre that always made Taehyung's heart pound. He came around the table and crouched in front of him, dark eyes shimmering with something raw. You walked into my clinic as someone I swore to help, but you became so much more. You became my safe place, my light, the person I can't imagine my days without. I never thought I'd fall for someone this deeply, but here I am, on my knees for you. Taehyung's lips trembled, his throat tightening as Jungkook pulled out a small velvet box and opened it. Inside, a simple but elegant silver band glowed in the candlelight. Marry me, Taehyung. Let's stop calling this therapy or appointments or sessions. Let's just call it what it is. I love you. Be my partner. Be my husband. Tears welled in Taehyung's eyes instantly. The boy who once couldn't even imagine sharing his vulnerabilities with anyone was now staring at the man who'd not only touched him in ways no one ever had, but also healed him from the inside. His chest ached with joy, with disbelief, with relief. Yes, he whispered first, too choked up to speak louder. Then, stronger, smiling through tears. Yes, Jungkook, 1,000 times yes. Jungkook slipped the ring onto his finger and surged upward, pressing their lips together with desperation and reverence all at once. The world felt perfect in that moment. But perfection has a way of attracting shadows. A week later, Taehyung lay in Jungkook's bed, head on his fiancée's chest, fingers tracing idle patterns across his skin. Jungkook was half asleep, exhausted from the way they had made love until dawn. But Taehyung's eyes stayed wide open, clouded with thoughts he couldn't push away. The problem wasn't love. He knew Jungkook adored him. The problem was trust, or more accurately, jealousy. Every time Taehyung remembered what Jungkook did for a living, helping people with intimacy issues, touching them, guiding them, his stomach twisted. Jungkook's soothing voice coaxing another person to relax, to feel pleasure, the very way he had helped Taehyung. It didn't matter that it was professional, clinical, detached. To Taehyung, Jungkook's hands were his. His voice was his. His touch was his. He wanted to say something, but he bit his tongue. He didn't want to seem unreasonable or untrusting. After all, Jungkook had been nothing but honest with him. But the doubt lingered like a thorn in his chest. Jungkook noticed. Of course he did. One evening, as they sat on the couch with a movie playing quietly in the background, Jungkook muted the screen and turned to him. "You've been quiet," Jungkook said, his hand reaching to brush Taehyung's cheek. "You smile, you laugh, you kiss me, but your eyes, Tae, they've been holding something back. Talk to me. Don't hide." Taehyung's heart stuttered. He looked away, embarrassed. "It's nothing, really." Jungkook tilted his chin gently back toward him. "Don't lie to me, love. Not you. Not when I know you better than you know yourself sometimes." Taehyung exhaled shakily. The words rushed out before he could stop them. "It's about your work." Jungkook stilled, but his gaze remained soft. "Go on." Taehyung chewed his lip, voice low and hesitant. "I know what you do is important. I know you've helped so many people. But every time I think about it, I get jealous. The idea of your hands on someone else, guiding them, touching them, when those hands are the same ones that hold me, it makes me feel sick. Like I'm not enough, like I'm sharing you, even though I know it's not the same." His voice cracked. "And I hate myself for even thinking this, because I trust you, Jungkook. I do. But I can't stop these feelings. And I'm scared that one day they'll ruin what we have." Silence fell between them, thick and heavy. Jungkook's jaw tightened, but not in anger, in understanding. He pulled Taehyung onto his lap, holding him close. "Do you know why I felt guilty after our first time together? Why I wrestled with myself for days?" Taehyung blinked. "Why?" "Because I've never crossed that line with anyone before you. Not once. I've always kept my work separate, professional, safe. But with you, couldn't help it. I wanted you not as a patient, not as someone broken to fix, but as my Taehyung. That's why I felt guilty. I thought I was taking advantage of you. But the truth is, Tae, you were never just another patient. You were the one exception, the one man who changed everything for me." Jungkook cupped his face, their foreheads touching. "So when you worry about sharing me with my work, I need you to hear this. You'll never have to. Because no one will ever get the parts of me that you do. They get a doctor. You get my soul." Taehyung's tears spilled over. His chest felt lighter with every word Jungkook spoke. "But how can I stop feeling this jealousy? It eats me alive sometimes. Jungkook kissed his tears away. We'll find a solution together. If I need to change my career path, I will. If I need to limit my cases, I will. Because my future isn't with my job. It's with you. That ring on your finger, that promise I made, it means I'll do whatever it takes to protect what we have. You'll never be second to anyone, Tae. Never. Taehyung buried his face in Jungkook's neck, sobbing softly. But these weren't sad tears. They were tears of relief, of love, of finally being seen and heard. Jungkook held him tightly, rocking him gently, whispering against his hair. You're mine, Taehyung, always, and I'll prove it to you every single day, until there's not a trace of doubt left in your heart. Jungkook sat at his desk late one night, his fingers drumming against the polished wood as his mind circled endlessly. He had already proposed to Taehyung and gained his yes, but he couldn't ignore what he had seen in Taehyung's eyes lately, the shadow of worry that dimmed his usual bright warmth. Taehyung tried to hide it, but Jungkook wasn't blind. He was a therapist after all, and as much as Taehyung trusted him, jealousy was eating at his fiancée quietly, silently. Jungkook couldn't blame him. The idea of another man touching Taehyung in even the smallest way made Jungkook's blood boil. So how could he expect Taehyung to sit by while Jungkook's work still involved touching and helping other patients with their most private problems? That night, Jungkook leaned back in his chair, exhaling deeply. There has to be another way. I won't let Taehyung suffer in silence. The next morning, Jungkook found Taehyung curled up on his couch, wrapped in one of his shirts. He looked so small, so soft, so his. Jungkook crouched in front of him and pressed a kiss to his forehead. Baby? Jungkook whispered, brushing strands of hair from his face. Taehyung stirred, blinking sleepy eyes up at him. You're up early, Taehyung mumbled. I need to talk to you, Jungkook said, tone low but steady. Taehyung sat up slowly, worry flickering in his expression. Talk? Did something happen? Jungkook took his hands, holding them firmly. I've been thinking a lot about us. About you. About the way you've been carrying something heavy in your heart but refusing to say it. I didn't want to sound childish, Taehyung admitted softly. You're a professional. You've always been professional. But sometimes when I remember what you do, when I think about how many people come to you for that kind of help, his voice cracked, and he shook his head. I hate it, Jungkook. I hate the idea of anyone else being touched by you. I know it's your job. I know it's not the same, but I can't help it. It feels like you belong to the world when all I want is for you to belong to me. Jungkook's chest tightened. He pulled Taehyung into his lap, holding him close. Baby, you don't have to apologize for feeling that way. You're not childish. You're mine. And I'll do whatever it takes to make sure you never feel like you have to share me with anyone. Taehyung blinked, surprised. What do you mean? I'm changing the way I work, Jungkook said firmly. From now on, I'll only handle the talking sessions, the first professional meetings where patients explain their situation. After that, I'll refer them to a team of therapists who will handle everything physical. I'm building a department, Taehyung, a separate space where I won't even step foot. No more touching, no more one-on-one intimacy with anyone. Ever. Taehyung's eyes widened, his lips parting in disbelief. You'd really do that? Jungkook tilted his chin up, pressing their foreheads together. I'd burn down my entire career if it meant keeping you by my side. But I don't have to burn it down, I just have to reshape it. I can still help people without making you suffer. I won't risk our love for anything, Taehyung. Not ever. Tears welled in Taehyung's eyes as he whispered, "You're really mine?" Jungkook smiled faintly, kissing the corner of his lips. "Always. And to prove it, I want you to come with me tomorrow. Watch me work. I want you to see with your own eyes that I've kept my word." The next day, Taehyung followed Jungkook to the clinic. He held his fiancée's hand tightly as they entered, his heart racing. Jungkook guided him through the building, introducing him to the new team, professional therapists who greeted Jungkook with respect but looked to Taehyung with warmth as well. Throughout the day, Taehyung sat in Jungkook's office, quietly observing. Jungkook handled 3 patient consultations, nothing more than calm discussions, listening intently, offering advice and gentle encouragement. Each time, Jungkook ended with the same words, "I'll connect you with one of my team. They'll take good care of you." Not once did Jungkook cross a line. Not once did he even hint at physical involvement. By evening, when the last patient had left, Jungkook closed the door and turned to Taehyung. "Well, do you believe me now?" Taehyung's lips trembled as he rushed forward, wrapping his arms tightly around Jungkook's neck. "You're mine," he whispered against his lips. "Only mine. I believe you, Jungkook. I believe you with all my heart." Jungkook kissed him deeply, tasting the relief in Taehyung's breath. "Yes, baby. Only yours. Forever." That night, Taehyung couldn't stop smiling, even as Jungkook laid him across the bed and showed him, slowly, tenderly, but with unshakable possession, that his body, his heart, and his soul belonged to no one else. The suite door shut with a soft click, and silence rushed in, broken only by their breathing. The city lights bled through the curtains, painting their room in gold and shadows. Jungkook dropped the keycard on the counter without looking. His gaze never once left Taehyung. Taehyung's chest rose and fell as if he'd been running. His hands twisted nervously in the hem of his shirt, but his eyes, those soft brown eyes, burned hotter than anything. Jungkook stepped forward slowly, like a predator savoring the moment before the pounce. His tie was loose, his shirt half unbuttoned from the reception, and his lips curved in a smirk that promised trouble. "Do you know," Jungkook murmured, voice low, dangerous, as he caged Taehyung against the wall, "how many times tonight I've wanted to tear you out of that suit?" Taehyung shivered, caught between nervous laughter and desperate need. "How many?" Jungkook's lips brushed Taehyung's ear, his breath hot. "Every damn second." His hands slid up Taehyung's sides, rough but reverent, and Taehyung gasped when Jungkook's fingers dipped under the fabric. "You're mine tonight," Jungkook whispered, teeth grazing Taehyung's jaw. "No interruptions, no excuses, just you and me, until you can't remember your own name." Taehyung's soft moan was swallowed by Jungkook's kiss. Hungry, devouring, filthy. Jungkook kissed like a man starved, dragging Taehyung's bottom lip into his mouth, groaning low when Taehyung clutched his shirt and kissed back with equal desperation. He lifted Taehyung with ease, pressing him harder into the wall, deepening the kiss until Taehyung's legs wrapped around his waist. "Say it," Jungkook demanded between kisses, his voice breaking into a growl. "Say you're mine." He took his time preparing him, slick fingers moving with a mix of patience and teasing, curling deep until Taehyung arched, begging without words. Jungkook loved the sight of him like this, stretched out and needy, voice broken with small cries. "Good boy," Jungkook muttered, dragging his tongue across Taehyung's chest. "You take me so well. Every time I open you up, you get tighter, hungrier." Taehyung clung to him, nails leaving crescents on his back. Gasping when Jungkook finally positioned himself, the blunt head sliding slowly against that stretched rim. He paused, eyes burning into Taehyung's. "You ready to feel all of me, baby?" Taehyung nodded desperately, whispering, "Please, Jungkook, I need it. I need you inside me." With a guttural groan, Jungkook pushed in, inch by inch, watching the way Taehyung's lips parted in a trembling moan, his body arching beautifully beneath him. When he was fully buried, Jungkook stayed still just to savor the moment, whispering filth into Taehyung's ear. "Wrapped so tight around me, like your body was made to hold me here. You feel that, baby? How deep I am. That's my member in your stomach, stretching you open, claiming you." Then he pulled back and thrust forward hard, making Taehyung cry out, the sound echoing off the walls. Jungkook set a rhythm, relentless, wrecking, each thrust punctuated with shameless words. "Say my name while I ruin you. Look at you. So beautiful when I wreck you like this. You'll never forget how your husband made you scream on our wedding night." Every drive of his hips had Taehyung unraveling further, his legs trembling, breath breaking in needy whimpers. Jungkook's hand wrapped around his throat, not squeezing, just holding, forcing Taehyung's gaze to stay locked on him. "This is forever," Jungkook growled, lips brushing his ear as he thrust deeper, harder. "No man will ever touch you like this. You belong to me." Taehyung moaned shamelessly, tears pricking at the corners of his eyes, body bowing as waves of pleasure shook through him. Jungkook wrecked him through it, chasing the final climax, murmuring filth and love in equal measure until they both shattered. Loud, messy, trembling, clinging to one another as if nothing else in the world existed. Jungkook held him tight against his chest, pressing kisses to his damp hair, whispering the filthiest promises in between words of love. "All mine, forever. My husband, my everything." The end. Hope you enjoyed the happy ending. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Love you all.